Most people only see the wins, but let me tell you about the time that I lost everything. I'm not talking about a bad trade, I'm talking about the kind of loss that forces you to rethink your life. Before I ever touched a chart, I lived a completely different life. I spent 20 years in the army, and that built my discipline, my structure, and my ability to stay calm when everything else is falling apart around me. Those skills became the backbone of how I trade today, but I didn't know that at the time. When I got out of the army, I tried something new. I started a recording studio, produced music, and slowly found my feet outside the uniform. It was good, it gave me purpose. Then I took a massive leap. I sold the studio and went all in on buying a guitar store. That was Music 440 in Indooroopilly. This wasn't a side project, this was everything. Every dollar I had and every hour I could possibly give. We had real momentum. People literally camped outside for days before our big sales. It felt like I'd built something solid. At least that's what I thought.
In this age of online shopping, lining up is rare. But for 2 days, Brisbane musos have been staking out a guitar store at Indooroopilly. They entertained themselves with music and games of Uno until finally the doors opened.
Okay, so we're going to take the first guy in. Come on in, man. All right. Yeah. When COVID started dominating the news, I knew we were going to be in trouble. Not because of the virus, because I knew the government was going to do something silly like shut down the entire country because of a cough. So I pivoted fast. I rebuilt our e-commerce site from scratch. Custom product photos, clean interface, fast checkout, same day shipping. And it worked. Online sales exploded. We were competing with the big boys. But that early success turned into a trap. Because once the rush cleared out our best-selling stock, I couldn't get any more. Supply chains collapsed, shipping froze, factories shut down, lead times blew out. Every week, it felt like I was watching the oxygen slowly drain out of the business I loved. I slipped deeper and deeper into debt just to stay afloat. Not for profit, just for survival. I had one final move. It was a big sale to get a cash injection. Lockdowns eased and we planned it perfectly. Then we had floods hit. Biblical, right? People were kayaking past the store just about. You cannot make this shit up. Then we rescheduled the sale and almost nobody showed up. COVID had everybody shitting themselves. And flood recovery. So everybody was in survival mode. We made just enough money from that crappy sale to pay the staff their severance and also their superannuation, and there was nothing left over. I called the liquidators the next day. I shut the doors, and that was it. And here's my truth. I've had my life on the line in the army more times than I can count, but nothing compares to the stress of not knowing how you're going to pay your staff when you are the one that's responsible for feeding their families. Adam and Nick, a shout out to you boys. You guys went above and beyond. So after closing the store, I had that classic moment where I was staring at the wall wondering if I should flip burgers or start a cult. I had 20 years in the army behind me, a recording studio built from nothing, a guitar store I ran through a pandemic and a natural disaster, and suddenly I was back at zero. I'd been watching crypto from the sidelines. I did buy Bitcoin back in 2013, but I sold it too early and pretended I didn't care, and I ignored it for years. But after the store collapse, I began looking at the charts again, really looking at them, and it clicked. The markets made more sense. And so I went all in again, except this time I wasn't selling guitars. I was selling myself on the idea that maybe I could actually learn to trade. I dove into market structure, liquidity, psychology, candles, everything and more. And the more I learned, the more I realized that the training in the military actually had prepared me for this. discipline, process, patience, risk management, and not dying because you made a stupid decision. Trading became the first thing that made sense after everything fell apart. Once I got serious, trading became an obsession. Looking at charts every day, backtesting until stupid o'clock, learning why price moves instead of pretending indicators are magic. And then something clicked early. I started applying the discipline from the army and structure from business, and the results came fast. In my first month of taking trading seriously, I made 33%. Most people blow their accounts in month one. I was building one. And that was a moment I knew I wasn't guessing anymore. Then Stuart Crown stepped in. He was my first real coach. The first person who looked at what I was doing and said, "You've got something here, you can actually do this." He believed in me before I believed in myself. He broke down my trading and finally made it make sense. And here's the crazy part. Within my first year of trading, he invited me to become a coach alongside him at Crypto Calls. I didn't apply, he told me I was ready. And shout out to Shane as well for giving me this shot. That moment changed everything for me. It took me from being just a trader to someone who could teach, explain and help others avoid the costly mistakes that they made early. It was the proof that the grind was working. The reason I'm making this channel is simple. I'm sick of the bullshit. Crypto's full of hype merchants, moon callers, and people who've never traded a day in their lives, giving financial advice like they know what they're talking about. People chasing pumps. People listen to influencers who get paid to shill crap. People get wrecked because no one teaches the reality of how markets behave. This channel's not that. I'm here for real analysis, real structure, real commentary, no hopium, no fantasies, and no illusions. If you want somebody to blow smoke up your ass about the next moonshot, this isn't the place. If you want truth, clarity, and someone who actually trades, welcome. Here's what you'll get. Real chart breakdowns, not my cat walked across the keyboard and added 50 indicators type analysis. You'll get blunt commentary. If the market does something stupid, I'll say it. Real trading experience, no paper trading, no hindsight hero calls, humor, because we all love that. And because if you can't laugh at this space, you'll probably cry. Zero illusions. If price pumps, I'll tell you why. If price dumps, I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why it's great. If something is nonsense, we'll talk about it like adults, not like a cult meeting. If you want real insights and the occasional reality check, you're in the right place. Why the name? Because I don't follow narratives, I don't worship assets, I don't join cults, I just show up, analyse the market, make decisions and move on. A mercenary does the job without loyalty to nonsense. It also fits my background. 20 years in the army teaches you discipline, clarity and how to stay calm when the market's on fire. So Crypto Mercenary is how I operate. Precise, independent, disciplined, not emotionally tied to any project or dream. If something pumps, great. If something dumps, great. I'm here to navigate the chaos, not fall in love with it. So that's where I came from and that's why I'm here. Success isn't luck, it's discipline, it's structure, it's doing the work when everyone else is looking for shortcuts. This channel's not about hype, it's about clarity in a market that thrives on confusion. If you want real analysis and real strategy from someone who actually trades, then hit subscribe and join the journey. This is the Crypto Mercenary. Let's get to work.